YouTube. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. Once again, Auburn football sports talk. Lots to unpack here. A lot of stuff going on. As a matter of fact, during the off season, that's when you get a lot of crazy stuff going on. You got a lot of decommits. You got a lot of people hitting. Now that you got the transfer portal thing happening, you get the transfer portal stuff. And also, you still can't discount what the JUCO market, junior college market, has to offer as far as being able to supplement talent on your team. Like the video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speak Sports Auburn. We want to go ahead and get a few cash apps going on before we get started. That's going to be $ Vernon Speaks Auburn on Cash App. Definitely appreciate that. And as we get the Cash Apps trolling in, want to give a big war eagle to the Auburn fan base and just let you guys know that it's always great to be an Auburn Tiger. Subscribe to Vernon Speak Sports Auburn War Eagle. We're going to talk about the guys that have opted out of Auburn's upcoming matchup against Houston, the number 21 team in the country, by the way, in the Birmingham Bowl. I think the only thing that's kind of throwing this thing off is the fact that it's the Birmingham Bowl. Auburn is the in-state opponent. It's basically a home game for Auburn. You pretty much... When I went to Auburn, matter of fact, when I went to Auburn and I actually did my first year scholastically as a college student at Alabama A&M. And pretty much every other person you meet is from Birmingham. And I'm almost certain, this is just common sense, that Auburn has a very broad fan base in the state. I mean, not the state of Alabama, but in the city of Birmingham. So I'm pretty sure that although a lot of these Auburn fans talk a lot of trash about how they don't want to, hey, this is a shameful bowl and blah, 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 blah. Man, that place is going to be packed. One, you got a bowl game right in your backyard for Auburn. You don't have to travel to the Outback Bowl. You don't have to travel to Nashville to the Liberty Bowl. It's right up. You have to go nowhere. As a matter of fact, the Auburn fan base that resides in Birmingham and the surrounding areas and just the state of Alabama in general, this gives easy access to the Auburn Tigers in a football game against a very quality opponent. Houston 11-2. One of their only losses was to Cincinnati, who's going to be hanging out with Georgia in the college football playoff first game. Not Georgia, but they're actually going to be playing against Alabama the first game of the college football playoff, which I think is a very interesting matchup. I honestly don't think Cincinnati has the horses to keep up, but we're going to see. Both teams, Alabama and Cincinnati, have had plenty of time to prepare for this game, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this particular game plays out. Yeah, it's definitely going to be really interesting to see how the game between Cincinnati and Alabama plays out because, for one, this is the first time a non-Power 5 team is going to be indoctrinated into the college football playoff. And my goodness, of all teams that have to compete against your first time around, is going to be Alabama. Now, here's a feather that Cincinnati could possibly have under their cap. For number one, last year in the Peach Bowl, they actually, I think they squandered an opportunity to beat Georgia. They were actually up 21-10 late in that game and then, squandered the lead, and Georgia actually wound up winning that particular football game. Alabama housing the Heisman Trophy winner in Bryce Young. And they're riding off a lot of momentum after some heated battles in the SEC West. a handful of games where it was less than a one touchdown score for them to win the game, and actually succumbing to Texas A&M. These guys have really clawed their way into having an opportunity to win their second straight national championship. And you know what's really crazy? When you analyze or you dissect the Alabama football program, it's almost like it's silly that a rebuilding year, maybe you could look at it as a rebuilding year, is an 11-1 season, now a 12-1 season, and you have the opportunity to go back to the national championship. The odds makers would say that Alabama probably has a 99% chance to be back in the national champ. That is absolutely crazy for a program to be in that kind of position with all the injuries, excuse me, and all the other things they had going on. All right, so let's talk about Bo Nix. Bo Nix is headed to Oregon. He's taking his show transcontinentally to the Oregon Ducks, where he will reunite with Kenny Dillingham. Talked to one of my buddies, Derek Luke, who is a big Oregon fan. He was actually an adamant follower during the infancy stage of my YouTube situation where I was covering Oregon football. Now, first glance, the Oregon fan base are not pleased. Bo Nix, a 5-star recruit out of the state of Alabama, garnished pretty much any award that a high school football player could earn during his tenure as a high school football player. Jordan, he's going to miss Jordan Stadium for sure, because some of his some of his most worthy accomplishments were done in Jordan-Hare Stadium. He won the state championship there, Pinson Valley High School. He also beat Alabama there. He had some of his most statistical positive moments in Jordan-Hare Stadium, so he's definitely going to miss that. I'd say that Bo Nix going to Oregon is the best thing for him. Whether he starts or not, whether he's successful or not, I look at the mental aspect of what he had to endure. We're not going to talk about stats right now. We're not going to talk about the inconsistency right now. We're going to talk about the mental aspect of a football player who came to Auburn and wanted to be one of the Auburn greats. A lot of pressure on him. 3 different coordinators each year. And before some of you naysayers, I hear you. I can feel you commenting now. I can feel you commenting now that I'm making excuses for Bo. No, I'm not making excuses for Bo. I understand, though. He accomplished pretty much everything that you want to accomplish as a quarterback at Auburn. However, it's just a bunch of noise. If he starts, it's because of his dad. Then you got the inconsistencies that Bo Nix had. And I think this is because even in my career as in management, a different environment will allow you to garnish some of the things that you dealt with in the past and make you a better person. So I hope Bo Nix has success at Oregon. I understand totally why he wanted to take his show on the road. And even in a more positive light, take it to another conference, Pac-12. He has an opportunity to be successful. I wish Bo Nix well. I really do. Because as much pressure as I'm willing to endure, I wouldn't want to go through what he had to go through during his tenure at Auburn. All right, so now that we have a break in action, go ahead and hit the Cash App, $ Vernon Speaks Auburn. I'm going to leave the Cash App it's going to be a pinned comment. Like the video, comment, and subscribe. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. So the last topic that we have on the docket, Auburn has landed the #1 defensive lineman in junior college football. His name is Jeffery, MBA. Kind of a weird name, but this guy's good, man. He's gonna add something real special to this Auburn defensive line. If not, have an immediate starting position. Because guess who's leaving? TD Moultrie's leaving. Even bigger, Tony Fair is leaving. And he's just as big as Tony Fair, but a lot more athletic. You can definitely count on him as being, I'm just going to say it, I think he's going to start. I mean, this is a really good football player. He's going to start. Good news for Auburn in landing Jeffery, MBA. That's my time here, guys. Hit the Cash App. Go ahead and also like the video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle.